Good afternoon. My name is Tom Golden, and I'm happy to be doing my persuasive speech for you today. Everybody in this class that we're taking has one thing in common, and that is that we are all trying to improve ourselves. As a teacher, I have spent 24 years dealing with thousands of students and helping them work on becoming their best selves through self-improvement. Um, Self-improvement, personally and professionally, will help you make you a more productive and a healthier person overall. I will be talking about a few main points today. First, we'll talk about your personal self-improvement. That's going to deal with both physical and mental states. Professional self-improvement talks about getting the job you want and being a little more productive. And finally, how to become a little more productive and improve as a society in our beliefs. Let's start by talking about personal improvement. A study from the Center of Disease Control and Prevention says that $225.8 billion is wasted annually in the businesses through personal and family health issues. The point being, physically, if you're not up to your peak performance and your family's not up to peak performance, your work's going to suffer. Not necessarily due to sick time, but also due to lost productivity at work and at home. Myself, I've got a personal issue of ulcerative colitis, which is irritation of the colon. It's a disease I've had since I was 17 years old. And I know that when I don't feel good and my symptoms are acting up, I am definitely not the most productive teacher, not the most attentive father or spouse. So personal health is something that we always want to get into line before anything else happens. So let's talk about how to get yourself physically better. To improve yourself physically, first thing I would suggest is always go to the doctor and get checked up every year. And if you have if you feel a little bit like you might be off or something might be wrong, take time to fix it. Secondly, to fix your self-improvement as far as physically, get some exercise. I try to get out and run a little bit. I don't do it every day. I'm not crazy. I don't do it all the time, but it's something that I do that helps me feel good about myself. Second part of the personal improvement is going to be your mental improvement. Do not let yourself sit in front of a screen all day. A lot of us like to sit in front of the TV. A lot of us like to sit in front of a computer, in front of our iPads and our phones. Ways that you can help keep your mind fit and keep your mind sharp through old age. Play games. My grandfather and my grandmother lived to be 96 years old, and every day they would play cribbage. And those card games, I'm sure, helped. And my grandmother would do crossword puzzles every day. Those things, I'm sure, helped improve her mental state at the end of her life. She was sharp as a tack till the day she died. And so ways that you can improve, you can do puzzles, crosswords, do number games, a Sudoku puzzle a day, or a couple times a week that will help you. Finally, have some meaningful conversation with somebody. If you can get out and talk to people and have discussions that are a little bit more in-depth, that also helps keep your mind sharp. So your physical and mental improvement are very important. But personal improvement is only part of the equation that we want to talk about today. We also want to talk about professional improvement. An article by J.T. O'Donnell in Inc. magazine says that in her 15-year study, 70% of workers are dissatisfied with their career. The reason being is that a lot of times they choose jobs based upon how to impress people. You're told from an early age to be a doctor, a lawyer, make a lot of money. I like to tell my children, boy, you know what, it'd be nice if you made some money and supported me in my old age. But unfortunately, money's not the answer as we go through. So what we want to talk about is working for the career that you want. A lot of people in our class are doing that right now because they're taking classes to get something else that they feel that they would need. For me, I've got a career that I like, but being close to retirement at this career, I still have about 20 years until I can retire fully. So I'm trying to find things in my life that I would like. And I'm finding business areas that I think are very interesting, that I can improve myself and improve upon what I'm going to do later in life. Career changes happen at all stages. I had a friend of mine that changed careers all the way up until he was, until now. He's 47, and he's at his fourth career. He's finally decided he wants to be a doctor, and he's loving it. But he went through a lot of iterations to get there. So don't be afraid to change at whatever stage of life you're at. A second part of that is once you get to where you want to go and you get the career that you like, keep getting better. As a teacher, I go to conferences all the time, and I don't go to sessions that work on things that I know. I go to sessions that will lead me down paths to make me better at things that I'm not quite as comfortable with. My example being, I'm a band director, a choir director, and an elementary music teacher. I'm very, very uncomfortable with the elementary music. I have been ever since I've started. So when I go to conferences, that's the first thing I do. I bring myself there and I force myself to improve upon what I do. Now, improvement for personally, professionally is great. We can also then move that on to improving on a larger scale in society. If you think about the society 100 years ago and views towards women, views towards minorities, there's a lot of bigotry, a lot of hatred, a lot of degradation that you don't see as much anymore. There's still some holdouts, but every generation that comes past to the next is responsible, in my eyes, to improve upon the generation previous. And my biggest example of that is the LGBTQ community. And you could not even talk about being gay or lesbian or bisexual 2 generations ago. It was very taboo. And now it's in the mainstream and gaining acceptance, and we have the responsibility to continue that as future generations come through, and to teach children and just to educate the public. So in conclusion, improvement happens at all levels. We talked about improving personally. We talked about improving professionally. We talked about improving socially. My call to action to you is that when you stop improving, you stop evolving. Please take a second and one aspect of your life and improve upon that. And for every improvement that you make, you're going to make the world a little bit better, a little bit of a better place. Not just for you, but for everybody. Thank you very much for listening today, and I hope you have a great day.